Well, hello everybody. So is our every other weekly Ask Me Anything live stream. Um I will be I every other time I do this, I take live guests. So I got to put the invite link in the chat. And now I got to open up YouTube Studio so I can pin that. So let me do that here quick. Okay, there we go. And I just realized something. Oh, no, never mind. Who told you I was taking a nap before this? Because I was. That's creepy. Did I miss anything? Spanky rules? Geek G? What the heck? What? Why did my computer just why is it saying that? Okay, never mind. All right, I already got a guest. Hello?
Hey Eric, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Have you watched the Charlie Kirk memorial at all?
No, I saw a couple clips of it was all.
That's fair. I was just kind of curious because and also maybe you can like reiterate it through this stream too, but I assume you're just like not going to cover anything Charlie Kirk related again.
No, because did you see the post that I made about that?
I did not.
So I wrote a post. And a lot of people did see it, but I basically just said I'm not going to do any Charlie Kirk content. Not like, even if somebody sends me like an old video of his where he says like the most like brain dead science, anti-science or whatever take, I'm not going to respond to it. Even if I could do it without invoking anything that happened, I'm just not going to do it. And I don't plan on making any content being um disavowing what happened or saying like giving my stance on it at all, because regardless of like my position on it, I just don't want to provide a space for people to like, if I said I absolutely condemn it in every single sense, then that would just invite people who feel the opposite to just like to just spew whatever they want to spew. Or if I made a video saying, yeah, look, I mean, he kind of deserved it, he asked for it, whatever, then that would invite the opposite of that. The opposite of the opposite from the previous case to engage in. And it was all, the rhetoric was so ugly that I was just like, I'm just not going to do anything with respect to it.
That's fair. Do you feel like the videos that you did cover about him just you kind of already like made your point about it?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, there's nothing else I've ever seen of him to cover except for just his rampantly horrendous social takes. I mean, I a lot of the stuff that got shared after he died, I hadn't heard him say those specific things. I was like, "Oh, he was worse than I thought. He was just an absolute puke of a human being." But no, I'm not. I did see some people like Holy Kool-Aid created a video like the day after he died and said like, whoa, 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 I condemn violence, but let's not lionize or mythologize this person. He was a terrible person. And it was like this 20-minute video about that. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know why you would do that except to be like, because there's a lot of people saying like, oh, I don't support what happened, but, or that actually a better one would be, I don't care either way. But now here, let me tell you 10 opinions. It's like, no, you care so much. You're actually just dancing on his grave when you do that. So I was like, so I'm not gonna do anything with respect to it.
That's fair. That's all I was just calling and ask about. So enjoy the stream and everything. You have a good one.
Thank you very much. Oh yeah, the Rapture's tomorrow. So the Rapture is, if you guys remember, it's a 2-day event, right? Because I talked to that one dude last month in August, and they said that the Rapture starts the 23rd and the 24th. So I gave that person a follow on TikTok, so I'll try to do a follow up with them. So we'll see if we make it through. I hope it doesn't Rapture, because like I bought some things and they're not going to get delivered until after that. Okay, Tej, I will welcome up to the stage now. Hello.
Hi, Planet Peterson.
What is up?
So I just bought your book, Rational Answers to Stupid Questions, and I'm about on page 30. But I just had a sort of a personal question for you. Like, what in your background sort of possessed you to become more of like a science communicator and talk about misconceptions like this?
I kind of thought I talked about that it's amazing that you can write a book and then forget what's in it. I kind of thought I talked about that toward the beginning, but basically, I went into education as a high school teacher just because of just the love I have of learning and just teaching people things. And then after a couple of years of teaching and just kind of like it was, I think my third year teaching, Donald Trump got elected. And so then it like just kind of understanding where I was in the moment and the climate of the country. I really felt like what I was doing, obviously teaching anything is a public service, like teaching kindergarten is a public service. Daycare is a public service. But being a science teacher, I just felt like was so incredibly needed in the country. And so I wanted to start doing science communication, one, because I just wanted to be a public, semi-public figure and get the stuff out there, but two, for the actual mission of, getting the information out. And then the whole, like, I never imagined myself as a debater, debunker type person. I tried doing other things. It's just that none of those were popular. So I really just kind of found my avenue, found my voice in the way I go about doing what I do.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I totally could have missed the part where you explained that, to be honest, because I wanted to dive right into the meat and potatoes of like, here's the common argument that gets tossed at me, and here's how I respond to it. I have those conversations very often with family members who are very religious, very like the Earth is 6,000 years old. Some of them even think the Earth is flat, and I uh, I don't know. I just really appreciate what you do, and I just wanted to know a little bit more about you. That's about it.
All right. Well, thank you for being a viewer.
Yep, yep.
Have a good one. What gets wetter as it dries? A chamois. Oh, somebody said towels. Well, that would be true also. God equals the square root of -1. Very edgy. Very edgy. Earth is an n-sided 3-dimensional polygon. N is just freaking huge. Change my mind. I mean, yeah, sure. It's sort of like, is there a 3-dimensional version of the coastline paradox? The number of faces that Earth as a 3D polygon has is basically limitless. How far can you walk into a forest? All the way to the scene of your death. Yeah, I heard about this, and I saw a tiny clip where the press secretary was asked about it, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but they quoted her in it, and her response was just something like, "Be respectful." It's like, what? Are there any famous science educators you admire? Yeah, I mean, Brian Cox. A lot of them are physicists. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Cox, Brian Greene, Sean Carroll. Yeah. It's weird how there aren't any. What the hell? I can't think of any popular science communicators that aren't physicists. What the fuck is going on? Like there are like internet ones, like Forrest Valkai, and like way back in the day there was Bill Nye. He was just an engineer at the time. I don't know what he got his PhD in. He did eventually get one, but the only other kind of like science communicators I can think of are more like health guys. Like Andrew Huberman, I think that's his name. Huh. Weird. Who do you get for doppelgangers? What does that mean? Is that I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Maybe Alex knows. Welcome up, Alex, everybody. Hello?
Hey, thanks for having me up. I'm a fan. I've been listening for a while. I wanted to ask you a question, and I'm sure it's very unlikely that I'll ask you a question that you haven't been already asked 100 times. But how effective do you think science communication is in America at actually moving people away from ignorance towards a real interest in science? I mean, I enjoy what you do just for the fun of it, the laughs, but it seems very difficult, especially when people reach a certain age, to convert them, so to speak, to a scientific worldview.
So I am longtime viewers will know that I've taken a version of this question a lot of times before, and I'm actually pretty optimistic, but I'm not necessarily optimistic in that science is winning the battle like against religious fundamentalism or something like that. But what I specifically mean by that is I don't think people that are indoctrinated against science, I don't think science communication is really all that effective. But I do think it's extremely effective about people that are not subjected to religious fundamentalism and the brainwashing and indoctrination that goes along with that. There are tons of people out there. It's the majority of people that are just like, I don't know what to believe, or I don't know what the facts are. I mean, could somebody tell me what they are? Most people are receptive to that. And religion is just becoming less and less and less relevant in the United States. The number of people that identify as non-religious is now, I think, bigger than it's very recently overtook the number of people that actually do identify as religious. So we can get those people, which is really good. But another thing that I guess I can be a little bit optimistic on is I've lost track of the number of people that have told me, yeah, my teachers in school wouldn't even teach us evolution. They refused to do it. But they're talking to me, so they're, like they know it, they understand it, they believe it. Maybe I helped them out a little bit with that. So even despite some of their best efforts, we're winning. All we do is win.
I guess, yeah, aside from the religious fundamentalism that's such a cancer in this country, and unfortunately, it seems like in Europe too, considering the traction that people like Steve Bannon get there. Then there's the people who aren't religious at all, but they just have this idea that, like, if I don't see it with my own eyes, or if I don't understand it the first time it's explained to me, then it must be a conspiracy. And I think that's a whole other can of worms, maybe.
Wait, say the part about conspiracy again.
People who, if they're science illiterate, or if they just aren't, they aren't equipped to understand certain things on the first pass, they are likely to attribute, they're likely to go to conspiracy theories to explain, why certain things are the way they are in the world. Why are they pushing evolution, this thing that I can't understand, that's so beyond my comprehension? And
I had this specific thought just the other day. And it was about conspiracies. I can't remember what made me start thinking of it, because it wasn't directly tied to conspiracy theories, but it was, I remember now. So we're going to radically shift gears to AI here in a second. So I feel vindicated by this, because months ago, a long time ago, I was saying, what I think freaks me out pretty badly about AI. I'm not an AI doomsdayer, but something that really worries me is I think we're going to start getting deep fakes that people are going to use politically and culturally, of people saying things they didn't say. And then what's going to make that really crazy in politics is, there's going to be a deep fake of whoever's running for president saying something or doing something. And what I think they might end up doing is they'll fake them saying the quiet part out loud. And then the actual person will be confronted with it and be asked to disavow it, but they'll make a political decision and refuse to do it. And I think that will just radicalize and divide people much farther. The other thing, so that's not exactly the thing I'm talking about, but the other thing that worries me about this is the stuff that's just really obviously fake, and even like the politician like disavows it. Like, did you see that thing where there's that goofy ass picture of Tim Walz with a "fuck Trump" shirt on going down an escalator? Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't see that. No.
So that happened, but it was completely fake. And Tim Walz is like, yeah, this isn't real. But here's the problem. People start believing in rumors and spreading them just so quickly. And even if something fake like that gets out there and whoever it's about addresses it, it's never going to get to 100% of the people. Even if you only get to 99% of them, you still have 1% of people that genuinely believe this thing, and they just carry that with them, and it poisons the way they think about something. And the problem is that kind of thing can be generated so many times that the conspiracy theorists or the political truthers or whatever, almost none of them hold the same beliefs, but all of them hold a couple of the different beliefs, like the 1% that leaked through. Like, this guy believes in like 2 or 3 of the weird conspiracies that trickled through. This guy believes in 2 or 3 of the other ones. But it doesn't matter that they're not all unified. There is so much basically, what's the right word? What the hell's the right word? What is wrong with me?
Misinformation?
Yeah, but I'm thinking about on the believers' behalf. There's so much like institutional distrust basically that they completely like lose or forfeit their view that the political system or whatever is legitimate.
Anti-establishment.
Yeah,
And
kind of. Yeah. So that really worries me because you can have literally tens of millions of people that are all rabble, rabble, rabble. We're pissed off. Well, what are you pissed off about? Everything. And so, like you can't win against that. I don't know how you do at least. So that the idea of that really does worry me because they don't even have to come together and be like, yeah, we're against this specific. They just all have this fomenting lack of they've just lost faith in the system or whatever.
yeah,
So
and the saddest thing is that they're right about politicians being corrupt, or the system not working for disenfranchised people, but then the conclusions that they draw are completely wrong. That
yeah,
it's
it's culture
designed to
war stuff, and it's like
establish.
no,
Yeah,
it's literally rich people, and
exactly,
that's pretty much it.
exactly. Anyway, thanks. I don't know if I'm overstaying my welcome, so thanks again.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's the thing about conspiracy theorists. Like, if you just believe in every conspiracy, then you can sort of pretend like, oh, I was right. It's like, no, you were wrong 99% of the time. Casiel Zorita Narvaez, thank you, says, is Spanky more powerful than Buddha? Yes, the Buddha was not even, he was just an enlightened one. So Spanky is super powerful. Oh, I gotta show you guys. You can see Spanky here, but he's very small. I have to show you something. I went to Michael's and they had tiny tumblers. So I got a tiny tumbler and I put a Spanky sticker on it. So now Spanky's got his own tumbler. And it won't stay there unless it's being held in place. So that's why the rubber band is there, obviously. But if I'm clever, I can hide it a little better. So there you go. Why has he risen us up like that? Spanky is risen. Rizzin. Anyways, no, hold on. I gotta. Okay, Saint will join us now. Hello.
Hello. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Do you have any tips on distinguishing rage bait from authentic ignorance or misinformation?
Are you talking about verbal or like in meme format or like online, like written stuff?
Usually online or verbal.
Okay. So you're not talking about like what I do, like conversational type things. You're talking about more like just like crap online.
That and then like fights in comment sections.
Yeah. That's hard. I don't really deal with that kind of stuff. That's a lot harder to diagnose. What I would say is if they refuse to answer any questions ever, then they either are just rage baiting or even if they're not, either way, absolutely not worth your time. That's where you just absolve yourself of the conversation. That would really be the only thing, at least that I can think of.
Okay. And then back to the AI thing. Do you think that AI and large language models are going to have any future effect on religion? Like, there's already people that
I
are
mean,
thinking
it
that
could
like, oh,
spawn.
ChatGPT is saying that I'm the Messiah.
It could spawn. I wouldn't be surprised if if it spawns a bunch of like small cults at a pretty alarming clip. Sorry, there's a lot of cat hair in this room. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does that. That's always been a part of our culture, but you know, with the internet, it's just more powerful, so it can just get things done more quickly. But I would guess that they would be really small and they would just kind of burn out and then fade away. Did you hear that story about the kid who ChatGPT basically, in a way, coerced him into killing himself?
Yeah, and it's a little bit more detailed than that too. It's not just ChatGPT told him to kill himself. It was over the course of months and months or something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah, but like the kid would be like, I practiced hanging myself and my parents didn't notice the bruises, blah blah. And like it was like giving him advice on how to hide his self-harming practices and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
so
and then at
there's
one point, he was like, "Should I tell somebody about this?" And ChatGPT was like, "No, keep it quiet" or something.
yeah. Yeah, so it enabled it, not really,
Mhm.
not coerced. Maybe coerced is a bad word. But yeah, I'm afraid stuff like that could, I mean, you can get like we're already having a lot of mentally unstable people going around and shooting places up and shit like that. I wouldn't be surprised if, and this is like, it's not exactly cult-like behavior, but it's kind of similar.
Mhm.
I worry about LLMs doing that kind of thing too. But yeah, the religion thing, I don't know. That would be interesting. And then maybe one day, you know, when Christianity in its early days, they couldn't agree on anything. And then eventually they still don't agree on quite a lot, but eventually it kind of became standardized. It would be weird to think like in 10 years, does like this one kind of overarching idea behind holding that LLMs are God or whatever emerge amongst people? Who knows?
Well, I mean, I think the ultimate dystopian end goal of AI misinformation or whatever is a specifically tailored deep fake for whatever you're against and whatever political party isn't paying for the ads or something like that, which ties into the thing that you were discussing with the last guest.
Mm-hmm. Wait, was that a question? If it was a question, I didn't hear it somehow.
Oh, no, sorry, it was a comment.
Oh, right.
I don't think I have any more questions. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
Oh, shit. Well, okay. I was going to wait like 10 seconds, but Lint, you're in now.
How you doing, Eric?
I'm fine.
So I have an actual science question that I've been thinking about for a couple years now, and you're the target of opportunity. So if we get to another planet and we want to get geographic coordinates, it's easy enough for us to, figure out what we would consider the equator. Is there any thought about how you deal with lines of longitude? Because on Earth, this was basically by convention. I'm trying to think if there's anything that would be a solid reference point to use as your prime meridian.
Well, picking your prime meridian, that's just going to be somebody's just going to decide someday.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's going to be cultural, but it's somebody's just going to make that decision. I don't know how I can't remember what you call it either. But that I can't remember his name either. The guy that invented the clock that allows you to determine your longitude.
Oh, the one they made the big PBS documentary drama about. Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know how that device works. So the deal is it's kind of the question isn't super, or how do I want to say it? The problem isn't as hard as you think it is, because if we have the technology to go to another world, We're just
Yeah.
flat out going to know the circumference of it. So then it's just going to be a matter, like we can make the map before we even get there.
Yeah.
But even if we didn't have the map, we would still know the like circumference of that planet. So we could just map it out when we got there. It's just it's
It's
just kind
it
of
would
sort
be
of a
kind of
problem that
arbitrary
doesn't
at that
really need
point,
to be
right?
solved from scratch.
Yeah. All right.
But if you here, let me like let's say we didn't know that. Like if you wanted to like figure it out, yeah, how would you figure out your longitude? You just Yeah, that would be the process you'd have to use anyway. You would just have to figure out the circumference of your planet or whatever, which wouldn't really be all that hard. The Eratosthenes experiment does that. And then you just have to know
the
where
rotational
you just have to know where the
cycle.
equator is.
Yeah.
And then map it out from there. Now figuring out the tilt of your planet, yeah, that would be easy. That would be easy too, because you just need to know the tilt of your planet is the equivalent of, very appropriate that you asked this question today because it's the equinox.
Oh.
Whatever the maximum latitude the sun goes to, that's the same as your tilt, your planet's tilt. So then you just
is that relative to the plane of the ecliptic, or is that the
I don't know that term.
Oh, the plane of the ecliptic is the plane in which the planet orbits around the sun.
Oh, no. That's no, equinox or no, none of those things really have anything to do with that.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to remember if the tilt was measured by
It
the
would though.
ecliptic.
Well, now that I think about it, if you're how do you word how do I word this? Now I'm trying to think. Cuz like Uranus, it's on the same plane as us. All the planets are within 3 degrees of each other except for Pluto. Pluto's way, and my brightness on my thing just went, holy shit.
Oh my God, you're looking paler than normal.
I know. My camera is a webcam, so like why did it do that? I'll just turn down my light, I guess. Nope. Yep. Every now and then it just does not want to cooperate.
Someone's in there hacking your Gibson, man.
Yeah, so I don't know, because like Uranus, it's tilted.
It's got like an 89 degree
98 degrees.
Oh, it's 98.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's past. That's why they say it's upside. It's not really. Well, yeah, here's the thing about Uranus. They say it's upside down. That's because it's tilted beyond 90 degrees. It's 98 degrees. But how do we know that it actually didn't just tilt maybe they do know that because of every planet spins the same direction, the right hand rule.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we do pretty much know that, but anyways. But now I'm thinking
under the assumption that all the planets are rotating in the same direction because of the angular momentum from the coalescers. Yeah.
Yeah, from the collisions. But now that you brought up the plane of a ecliptic, I'm thinking, how do you figure out where your equator is on Uranus? Because it's so strange, because for some of the year the North Pole's pointing directly at the sun, and then for some of the year it's like a rotisserie chicken pointing directly at the sun. Well, I don't know how I can't do that in my brain. So
the axis rotation, while the axis of rotation might process, it's not going to float around. So you're always going to be rotating across along the axis of rotation, and then whatever is perpendicular to that, it's basically at the widest point or the middle point between the poles would be where you cast out the equator. I think I've got that right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Well, there you go. I hope that this was a nice change from the current events questions.
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you.
All right, take it easy.
You too. Okay, no super chats. Is there anything? LOL, you're dumb. I am? Damn, I didn't know that. Inert matter to self-aware life. It can't do that? No, I don't think the first life form was self-aware, so that's not even a problem for abiogenesis. Anyways, Declan is up. Hello. Your microphone's muted.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good.
That's good. Long time watcher, first time caller from Australia. I agree with pretty much all of your positions. I'm very happy to see someone out there doing the God's work, as they say.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of an existential question I have. I've been atheist my entire existence as early as I can remember. I went to a Catholic primary school for quite a while, and did that whole thing only because it was the nicest school in the area. So that was kind of my parents' decision. But I've been up and down through good times and bad times. Parents split up young, good relationships, bad relationships. But I struggle to find it sounds meta, but a meaning, like a real deep reason for existence. It's something I've explored through, lots of reading and philosophy and psychedelics and meditation, and I've really grappled with it. And I feel like being a mindless drone to a higher power would just be so much easier than having to worry about any of the deep questions. So to wrap it up, I guess, my question would be, where do you gain your drive for life? I think would be my best way of putting it.
That's a good question. Let me type this one thing out real quick, and then I'll answer that. So that comment you made about it'd just be easier to just mindlessly believe in a higher power. That's probably why it's so popular. A huge reason
I agree.
why that kind of thing is so popular. And part of the appeal to that is, like, I've read some stuff on like political and moral psychology, and it's very weird the way that religion sort of, it bypasses our rationality. It just gives you this all-encompassing unifying idea and just says, there, believe this or else. And people are just kind of like, okay. And what we actually find is and this is very apparent in the left versus right political atmosphere, but also like with just kind of, and I guess this sort of is politics, but like social movements and things like that, you can kind of see it too. When you try to base something based off of like a secular idea or a rationalist idea or whatever, it's actually really hard to get buy-in from that, because the nature of the system invites people to question the system, and then it's like, wait a minute, but what about blank? And then that just causes schisms and division and infighting within it. Whereas with the religious idea, because it's bypassing your rationality in the first place, it's just like, yep, magic is real and you have to believe these things because guy in the sky says so.
But then my immediate follow-up question to that would be, if you in your heart truly believe in a higher power or God or any of the religions, how could you possibly think that a creator of the universe that knows everything and controls everything, how could you not devote your entire existence to that? How could you not be on your knees every single day, not wearing mixed fabrics, begging for forgiveness, being ready? Like, how can you take half of it and being like, oh yeah, it's real, but I only believe these kind of bits? It's literally gospel. You should be taking every minutia of that. And
because the answer is because they don't rationalize it. Because if you take it to its logical end, that is where you end up. But that's super rare. And that's actually the kind of thing that inspires, like, you know, suicide bombing and shit like that. The belief that this is the actual ultimate whatever, right? But my whole thing with Christians is like there is absolutely no argument you can give me that we shouldn't smother all life in the womb and then kill ourselves so we can immediately go to heaven. There's absolutely no argument
100%,
you can make because
100%.
that's a logical entailment. Nobody believes that though, right? Except for insane people. Now, anyways, getting back to your thing, the reason I bring all those up is because, yeah, you have to search for something else to find and derive meaning in things. For me, like I can tell you for me what it was personally, which only works for me and people that think and do kind of what I do. But I think you can generalize it kind of to yourself. But basically, I think you can get it in two ways. One, if you want to try to like have some sort of connection to something deeper, the closest thing I have to spiritual connections happen for me when I learn about the history of humanity. It's really profound, and in kind of a funny sense, it's almost creepy to imagine hundreds of thousands of years of human history and how we got where we are, why we are the way we are, the things that molded and shaped that for us. That connects me with my like my actual humanity, and that's super meaningful. But that's just for me personally. But the other thing you can do and kind of attach with that is you just have to find something that you care deeply about and just kind of throw yourself into that thing. When I was in college, I told this story fairly recently in a video I uploaded, but when I was in college, my freshman year I did pretty good because college was this new thing and whatever. And then the next 2 years, I didn't have a plan for my future, and I stopped going to class. I stopped caring. I cheated a couple times. I got caught once by one of my professors. I got in huge trouble for that. And I just like, because I was there for no purpose, and I wasn't bought into what I was doing. And then I decided what I wanted to do with my life, and then I turned into an AB model student, right? So, the finding some kind of purpose is,
I think I'm still
you
in
have
that
to do
limbo
that, and
of like trying to figure out what exactly I want to do, what direction I want to take my life.
Yeah. So that, yeah, you have to do that. And like I said, religion kind of does that for you, because people just go around like, well, what would Jesus do? Well, Jesus always thought and taught that you should be this, that, the other thing. And you go to church, and there's a lot of, I mean, there are some horrible churches, but there's a lot of kumbaya in church too, right? And you know, there is the kind of like connectivity that you get with church and
that's
with
the
religion.
other big draw for me, the community. Like just having people that you see like real. I work 7 days a week, so all I see is my bed and the people I work with, and that's it. I live alone, and the idea of going to a congregation on a Sunday and seeing 15, 20, 30 families, and getting to know people there, doing charity drives and eating together, praying together, that it is. I can understand the allure of it. Basically.
Yeah, it's enviable. My mom came and visited me for a couple weeks, and she goes to mass 3 days a week. So I would go and drop her off. And on Sundays for the big mass, the couple times I took her, I just sat there in the parking lot and watched all the people come out, and I was like, man, this is actually really enviable. Like, people look nice, Everybody is nice. They go and have like a communal breakfast afterwards. Sometimes, not every single time, but it's like, yeah, it's enviable, and it's society just isn't set up for that kind of thing, because it's just weird. Like, church is just something you do. You're just obligated to go do it, right? And it just kind of forces you to socialize. And what else is there? Well, I mean, like, we're trying. I mean, you can join a sports league in your local town. Those are really good. I do that, and it's the
What sport do you
positive
play?
benefits of that are pretty good. What's that?
What sport do you play?
Volleyball.
Volleyball. Nice. I did that in high school. I
I would do like ultimate frisbee too if they had it here, but I'm not aware of any groups that do it.
That's pretty cool. That frisbee golf looks pretty sweet too.
Frisbee golf is cool. We have a course here in my town that's kind of good. I wish we had some better ones. That one's you can frisbee golf by yourself and have a pretty decent time too. Plus, when you throw the frisbee and it hits a tree and you shout "fuck," if there's nobody there, then you don't have to worry about people thinking you're a psychopath. So there's a benefit to that too. But no, I mean, like, what's the equivalent of like religion, like secular religion?
Clubs.
Joining the local lodge, becoming a Freemason, it's stuff that's just cringe, right? So it's just I don't know. Hopefully our AI overlords replace 100% of the workforce and everybody is just forced to go on universal basic income, and we'll all lose meaning in life, so people will start volunteering in their community to find meaning, and then we'll have secular church through that.
Honestly, hell freezing over sounds a lot more likely than that. But I agree. UBI has been in studies shown to be extremely effective. And I think there was a study maybe 2 or 3 years ago that they gave a bunch of homeless people in maybe Seattle UBI for about 6 months, and by the end of it, almost all of them were employed. Which just goes to show that the means to like have an address and have somewhere permanent and food on the table gets you motivated to be able to go and put yourself in the workforce.
Yeah, they've had UBI in Alaska for a really long time, and it comes from all the oil money.
That makes sense.
They just give it to all the people, because I don't remember why they did it, but it was like, look, nobody lives here, but we have all this oil rich, and like what are we gonna do with it? So it's taxed and it's distributed. And people, it's like $600 a month or something like that. UBI has been going on in Alaska for a super long time.
It's a very red state, with a lot of poor people, as are most red states. I feel so sorry for you guys over there. It's a bit of a shit show at the moment.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the shit show is a learning lesson, and not a civilization ender. But we'll have to wait and see.
That's the knife edge you're on, though, because it can
I know.
rubber band the good way or slide off into the abyss.
I know.
I think the biggest thing for me was growing up, I was born 99, I'm 26. So growing up through the early 2000s and thinking of the US as, the shining beacon of democracy, leader of the world. And it has fallen very far from that grace in not just my eyes, but in a majority of the planet's view. Honestly, I feel bad admitting it, but I watch US politics as a reality TV show. Every day there is so much shit to look at and just laugh at, because I've not been affected by it. But You know, I just it's so everything's so broken, so broken.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I don't even know where to start to fix it either. Like, there's no obvious starting point unless getting rid of the current administration as a whole would be a starting point. But yeah, it's very very sad. I feel my heart goes out to all of you, and not in the Elon Musk sense.
and not Elon. Yeah, well, thank you.
Anyway, I will let you continue on your merry way.
Sounds
you very
good.
much for taking my call.
You're welcome. Well, that was fun. Oh shit, wasn't there a super chat like a super long time ago? Yes, there was. Can you explain the process of the number of chromosomes increasing over evolution? Oh, the Candyman asked this question. Sorry. I don't understand it with viable offspring. This is a pretty difficult question. I don't really actually know very much about how this is proposed. So God. I'm trying to think if there's nothing I really know about this, unfortunately. Let me I'm gonna have to ask our AI overlords what they think about this. Let's see. Normally, blah blah blah. Chromosome fusion still allows for fertility. So, for example, for humans, we have 46 chromosomes, and chimpanzees have 48. But it's not non-disjunction. It's two chromosomes fusing together. So a fusion like that can still produce viable fertile offspring because all the same genes are there. That does make sense. But there is, like, literally from top to bottom, the chromosomes, the genes are expressed in the order they appear on the chromosome along the body plan of the organism. So a fusion, at least I thought, maybe I'm wrong, but I was pretty sure the chromosome fusion that happened with us and them was two tops of the chromosomes fusing together. So that would be kind of strange, but I can understand how that would still allow for fertility because you haven't changed the number of genes. You've just had a chromosome fusion. And then that can just gradually increase in the population. That does actually kind of make sense. Small population effects and genetic drift. Yeah, that's not telling me much. Whole genome duplication in some plants, fish, and amphibians. Instead of mismatched sets, the organism duplicates its entire genome. Yeah, that's known about, I guess I would say. Hybridization followed by chromosome stabilization. Two populations with slightly different karyotypes may hybridize. If hybrids don't inherit complementary rearrangements or undergo genome duplication, they can regain fertility. Okay, that's basically all it says. Those make sense. I've just never really dove into that before, so I wish I could have given you a better answer, but what? Okay, where are we at? Spanky bless, yes. Mind Duck is on the wrong stream. Oh, is this the person that asked the abiogenesis question? Abiogenesis has no physics. No, it's just literally chemistry. And the physics before life and after is the same. I have no clue what that could even possibly mean. Can we get a bookshelf tour? I've been thinking about doing an office tour. It wouldn't be the most interesting thing in the world. A bookshelf tour. I have a lot of knickknacks. I don't have any paddywhacks, but I do have a lot of knickknacks on my bookshelf. So I could just kind of discuss each of them, I guess, of the knickknacks. And then there's too many books to go over. There's just way too many. Well, I say that, but why would there be too many? I guess I don't have an answer for that. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. Here, let me write that down. Alrighty then. That could be in the pretty near future. Have you ever given a dog a bone? I don't think I have. Show us everything that claps. I can show you all the things in this room that do that. Excuse me. Have many times rolled all the way home. Yeah, no. Don't get in your car. Roll home. Be a man. Don't take public transportation. Just roll. Be a man. Put on the hat. It's all the way over there. But I guess I could. If the Epstein files actually get out, then yeah, it could. Yeah, which is why you would have multiple of them happening simultaneously. What is your favorite and get it right this time? What? I don't like the pressure of this comment considering you didn't specify. What is your favorite and get it right this time? I'm just going to say you're my favorite, Mr. Kiki. Have you found or been shown any notable errors in your book, facts that aren't true? There's one error and one. It's kind of an error, but it's. I don't know what to say. I'll tell you what it is. One of them is that I mention the Johannine comma, and in the book I said it's in the Gospel of John instead of the Epistle of John. So I used the wrong word. I knew that, but I just I wrote gospel instead of epistle. So that was kind of embarrassing. The other one that I can think of off the top of my head, and this is so funny because I was like, man, to write a book called Facts That Aren't True and then to get something in the book wrong would just be so embarrassing. The other one has to do with the jellyfish thing. The peeing on jellyfish helps. God, why does the camera keep fucking doing that? The myth about peeing on a jellyfish sting relieves it. In the book, I say that this appears to have first appeared in an episode of Friends. And some people have, why won't we're just gonna have to live with it. Some people have commented, no, I remember people saying that way back in the 80s. So I think maybe Friends kind of launched it and made it more popular, but it doesn't appear to have originated there. That hat compels me. Why is April? You guys, you're paying money for questions I can't answer. Why is April? Why is April? That's just a black hole of a question. I don't think there's anything psychologically about April that can be answered or understood. She is completely without comprehension, both internally and if we were also to make an attempt to study April, entirely without comprehension. There's still life separate from physics. So there's no life separate from physics. Everything about living organisms is explained by physics. Facts That Aren't True, edition 2 by Peterson. I will write a second edition because I keep a document. It's just a Google Doc. I add to it. Seems like not as often anymore, but I was adding to it at least like about once every 2 weeks for a while there. But it's for a second edition of both books. So for Rational Answers to Stupid Questions, there are a few additional claims that have come up or that I didn't think about the first time that I think would be really good to add there. I really didn't talk about carbon 14 specific. Well, no, I did. I do talk about carbon 14 in Rational Answers, but I would do an entire second piece with more information on that. If we all come from single-celled organisms, then where's the 2-celled, 3-celled, 4-celled missing link? There's a bunch of them. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's probably there's about 10 additional things I'll probably add. And then there are a few things I'm going to add to sections that were already written. The fine-tuning piece of Rational Answers to Stupid Questions, when I address that, there's 2 sections kind of close, similar to fine-tuning. I don't really like what I said all that much, so I'll probably almost entirely rewrite those parts. And then for Facts That Aren't True, same thing. I just kind of have a running document of things I could add. I can't remember any off the top of my head. Will you ever release an official Spanky Bible? I thought about doing that, but I can't make myself sit down and write a fake Bible. I can't. It would just be, I can't use my time to do that. But what a viewer did suggest in a comment, this hat looks crooked. There we go. What a viewer suggested, I think it was today, was, Peterson, why don't you write a Spanky Bible? But it's like your other 2 books. It's just taking all the claims of religion and debunking them. And I thought, that's actually a super good idea. That is a good idea. And that is something that I would actually like to do. So then I have to decide, like, is it just going to be about God, like the concept of God in general, or would I address some Christianity things in there? I don't know exactly, because I don't want to pick on only one religion, but I don't know enough about other religions to rebut their claims. And so it would seem kind of unfair, but so I don't know. Where is the merch link? Yeah, my live videos don't have the same the video description isn't the same as the other ones. But if you go to literally any of my videos that have been posted within the last month, they all have a link to the merch store. I thought Spanky was purple. He is purple. He's kind of that weird. He's actually kind of, he's fuchsia. Like the actual Spanky is kind of fuchsia, but we all just imagine him as being purple. So we go with purple. But he is kind of that like lavender-ish, fuchsia-ish color. Your top hat is cute. Ooh woo. Oh, geez. Chat ban this person for life. PP didn't pay me to tell everyone that the books clap. I got them a couple months ago and I can't wait to poop now. Well, I don't actually know what that means, but thank you, I think, maybe. My family doesn't believe in evolution, saying a missing bone must be found to prove it. I couldn't find what they mean, except maybe a problem. I'm sure they meant missing link. The missing link is not missing. We have so many transitional forms of humans and all kinds of other animals. What kind of abiogenesis violates physics? So you think that a living thing violates entropy? Even if it violates entropy, eventually it dies. If abiogenesis violates physics, then so does a cloud forming. Well, you are very welcome. I worked very hard on them, so I'm glad that they're getting the recognition they deserve. Where's the bone that proves evolution? Oh, I got a guest. But they don't have their microphone or camera connected, so I can't bring them onto the stage yet. So I guess we'll wait. Who's the most known person you've debated? Andrew Wilson, by far, I guess. You better be, McDubbin. I better not see a fucking :3 comment from you again, though. Oh, shit, you got him right before that? No, I'm sorry. That is an all-time great episode. Did you believe in the talking donkey when you were a believer? I, like the vast majority of Christians, was so incredibly ignorant about the Old Testament. I knew the Exodus and the flood story, but not very well. And that was it. Like I knew the Exodus story up until they actually crossed the Red Sea. And then I didn't know of all the genocides and stuff they did. Yeah, you're skating on thin ice there, pal. What's my favorite song to play on guitar? Well, I haven't played it in a really long time, but probably 10 Years Gone by Led Zeppelin, because that's my favorite Led Zeppelin song, and they're my favorite band. So probably that song. What's the context behind the donkey? So I can't remember who it is, but there's this reluctant prophet or something in the Old Testament, and God tasks him with going to do something he doesn't want to do, and God makes a donkey talk to him, basically to mock him. If I say more, I'll get it wrong. Those are the details I can remember. I think I have a cat hair like inside my nose, and it itches so bad. Do I know anything about autoimmune lymphoproliferative syndrome? No. I've never heard of that. All right, chat. Well, we'll do about 5 more minutes, but I am a pretty big football nerd, so I'm going to go watch Monday Night Football. Oh, maybe I can connect John.
Hey, can you hear me?
What the fuck is going on with the?
Hey, can you hear me?
I'm literally clicking, and it's not working. This happened earlier. No, it's happening to the entire thing.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, you got to be kidding me. I think StreamYard just crashed. I have no idea if anybody can hear me or not. Son of a bitch. Okay, John, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, chat. I don't know what's going on, but on like the website I'm using is completely lagged out. Okay. What the hell? Like when it did this to me earlier. When I would click on a tab, it wouldn't do anything. And then it froze. So oh, you guys could hear him? I couldn't hear him at all. Son of a bitch. No, John, I could not hear you. Yeah, no, they cannot, and you are right. You gotta be shitting me. So it unfroze, and now it's frozen again.
There, is that better?
Like I have the mouse over him.
Yeah, now can you hear me?
And I'm clicking, and it's doing nothing. I don't hear anything. Best stream ever. Yeah, I don't know about that. Son of a bitch. Well, no, it's not working, John. So, oh shit, John left. Well, John, email me. My email is planetpetersonscience@gmail.com. That's one of my emails, at least. And I'll do my best to answer your question. Same for you, Crunk. But I gotta get out of here. It's football time, everybody. So, thank you.